Imagine being at the absolute peak of power, a legend who could swat down immortals like flies. Then, you're betrayed by your so-called best friend and ambushed by 300 of them, but right before you check out, you pull off a secret technique, saving your soul and all your memories. The only problem? You wake up in the body of a tiny 3-year-old kid. This is the story of a legendary warrior who has to start from scratch, navigating a world of backstabbing cultivators while barely being able to walk straight. Our story kicks off with this little kid summoning the Emperor's spirit. The boy's sect had been attacked by evil cultivators. His father, the sect master, had burned out his own life force to save everyone, and then to top it all off, a traitor forced the kid to drink poison. Seeing a kindred spirit in betrayal, the Sword Emperor agrees to help and takes over the boy's body. The moment his new, tiny eyes open, he's greeted by a hall full of elders bowing and calling him Sect Master. He might have talked big in his past life, but this is a seriously messy situation. The sect is falling apart. There's a traitor hiding among them, and a bunch of power-hungry old men are just waiting to pull his strings. Still, compared to the ancient monsters he used to fight, these guys are nothing. As the elders murmur about the risk of a 3-year-old leader, our little guy shakily gets to his feet and tells them all to rise. The first thing on his mind is to secure his position. A young woman in the crowd can't help but notice his long eyelashes and pink, round face, asking if she can give his cheeks a squeeze. But he's got no time for that, turning his attention straight to the elders to get a status report. The news is grim. The sect has been devastated, with major peaks destroyed and countless disciples and elders killed. If the enemy attacks again, they're finished. The elders look to him for a decision, but the tension is thick. Suddenly, another elder, Chu Jinchi, steps up, loudly asking the young sect master for a plan, thinking a kid would be speechless and he will use the opportunity to seize control of the sect. But our kid is no fool. He innocently asks who the elder is and then compliments him, saying how amazing it is that he survived the battle without a single scratch, unlike his own poor father. This simple, childish comment hits the room like a lightning bolt. How did Elder Q escape unharmed when even the strongest were taken down? Q starts to sweat, claiming he was just evacuating injured disciples. Seeing his opening, our little emperor puts on the waterworks, starting to cry and wail about how scared he is. Instantly, the young woman who thought he was cute jumps to his defense, scolding Elder Chu for being so aggressive with the child. Our MC wipes his tears and gives a touching little speech about everyone working together, winning over the loyal members of the sect. A big, burly warrior is so moved he confronts Chu directly. When Chu tries to maintain his innocence, the warrior rips his own shirt open, revealing a chest covered in deep, gruesome scars. He glares at Chu and demands to see his injuries. Things get even more ridiculous when one of Chu's young disciples tries to defend his master by pointing to a tiny bug bite on his arm, claiming he was injured too. The other cultivators just stare, with one ripping his own shirt to show a body covered in bandages, yelling, "Let me show you what real injuries look like." One by one, the other loyalists do the same, revealing their own horrific wounds. Elder Chu is cornered. He thought his preserved strength would make him the new leader, but now the entire room is against him. The burly warrior accuses him of being a coward who ran from the fight. Desperate, Chu puffs up his chest and declares he was only protecting the disciples and is willing to accept any punishment for it. Seizing the moment, our little emperor sentences him to 3 years of reflection facing a wall. Chu is stunned into silence. He can't believe he was just outplayed by a toddler, but with everyone watching, he has no choice but to accept. As he's being led away, he mutters that he'll see how long this new sectmaster lasts. But it's not over. Chu's disciple, a young man named Ye Qing, steps forward and openly disrespects the new sectmaster. When another elder tries to punish him for his insolence, Ye Qing easily blocks the attack, revealing he's shockingly powerful. This is the final straw for Chu. He shoves the other elders aside, openly declaring that the former sectmaster is a useless cripple who can't stop him. He storms toward the throne, grabs our tiny sectmaster by the neck, and lifts him into the air. The loyalists draw their swords, ready to die for their young leader. Just as Q is about to finish it, the kid looks him dead in the eye and whispers, "Uncle Q, is my acting good?" Then he looks over Q's shoulder with wide eyes and yells, "Father, you're here!" Q freezes, pure terror on his face. He whips around, but no one is there, but he feels immense force like a powerful cultivator is nearby. His mind spirals. Was the old sectmaster's power loss a fake? Was this whole thing an elaborate trap to expose him, using his own son as bait? The fear shatters his resolve. He drops the kid, grabs his confused disciple with a giant hand made of energy, and flees toward the reflection cliff, screaming that he'll be back. He's completely convinced he was outsmarted by his old rival, never suspecting it was all the work of a 3-year-old with the mind of a sword emperor. Just as everyone breathes a sigh of relief, our tiny sect master suddenly coughs up a spray of blood and collapses to the ground. The crowd panics. His third uncle rushes forward and scoops him up, only to find a dark, ugly handprint branded over the kid's heart. Jinger, the young woman, gasps in horror, recognizing it as the infamous fifth poison palm. The loyalists are furious, realizing Chujinchi must have landed a cowardly, poisoned blow as he fled. Third uncle swears he'll hunt Q down and wear his skin, promising to use every last bit of his own power to heal the boy. But here's the secret. It was all an act. Inside his head, our little emperor is giving himself a pat on the back. He manipulated his own pulse to spit blood and even stamped that palm print on himself to perfectly frame his enemy. He admits that the flash of power he used to scare Chu came from a mysterious black space within him, a tiny remnant of his past life, but his current body is so weak he can't actually fight. For now, he has to rely on his wits. His number one priority is to get stronger. He wakes up feeling refreshed, not just from third uncle's healing, but also from being held up by Jinger while she helps him pee. He absolutely freaks out, mortified that the once great sword emperor is being treated like an infant. She calmly explains he was in a coma and she was just trying to prevent an accident, something she's apparently done before. As he tries to push her away in embarrassment, his hand brushes against hers and his ancient senses kick in. He realizes something is very wrong. She has no pulse, no heartbeat, no cultivation. He asks her about it and she sadly explains her story. The old sect master found her abandoned and discovered she had a useless physique, making it impossible for her to cultivate. She's content just to serve the sect by taking care of him, but our emperor knows better. From his vast knowledge, he recalls a legendary physique that appears dead and useless until it is properly enlightened. Once awakened, its owner becomes an unstoppable genius, skyrocketing through the cultivation realms at a speed normal people can only dream of. He looks her dead in the eye and realizes she has the incredibly rare, secret concentric body. With a serious look that she finds adorable, he asks her a life-changing question. Jinger, do you want to cultivate? Meanwhile, on the other side of the mountain, the boy's father, Zhang Yun, is in serious trouble. He's trying to recover from his battle, but the backlash from the forbidden art he used is destroying his power. In just 5 days, his cultivation has plummeted from the Chuqiao realm all the way down to Yuanyin. He fears that in a few more days, he'll be no stronger than a regular person. Just then, a shadowy assassin, one of his loyal men, appears. Zhang Yun immediately asks for news about his son. The assassin reports that the young master is doing surprisingly well, but he suspects a powerful expert is secretly pulling the strings. He explains that when Chu Jinchi made his move, another presence appeared, one so overwhelmingly powerful that its aura alone was enough to scare Chu away. An expert of that level could only be in the legendary Chuqiao realm. Zhang Yun is stunned. He didn't arrange for any such master. He starts to worry that some unknown powerhouse is now eyeing his sect, and if they team up with the traitor Q, the sect is doomed. He orders his man to watch his son's every move, terrified that his family's legacy is about to fall into the wrong hands. Back in the main palace, Jinger is pondering what the young master meant by the secret concentric body. She's never heard of it before, but the thought stays with her. Inside his room, our little emperor is deep in meditation. Now, to really get what's happening, you have to understand how power works in this world. It's like climbing a crazy 10-step ladder to the heavens. It starts at the bottom with Lianqi, then you climb up through Zhuji, Xuanzhao, Ronghe, Shindong, Yuanyin, Chuqiao, Fenshin, Heti, and finally, if you survive the Dujia stage, you ascend to godhood. But our little emperor, he's about to throw that entire rulebook out the window. He focuses on that mysterious black hole of energy inside him, the one that followed him to this life. He reaches in, and after a struggle, he pulls out something magnificent. His original, legendary sword body, the pure sun sword. In his past life, he was born with this, a terrifyingly rare physique, but he asks himself a hard question. Should he just walk the same path all over again? He decides against it. This time, he will forge a path that is truly his own. He declares that he will use his sword to cut through the very origin of his power and start anew. He sinks into a deep meditative state where time itself seems to stand still. He finds himself in a void, a sea of bitterness, and begins to question everything. Who is he? Is he the sword, or did the sword create him? After a moment of intense struggle, he finds his answer. With a mighty slash of his spiritual sword, he cuts through the darkness. He remembers everything. He is not just a sword master, he is Zheng Ziki, wielder of the pure yang sword body and the current sect master of the Wuji sect. Just as he has this breakthrough, Jinger comes to check on him. She finds him sitting there, surrounded by a brilliant golden aura. She instantly recognizes it. He's in a state of epiphany, a legendary trance that can be worth 1,000 years of normal practice. She knows with absolute certainty that when he wakes up, the entire cultivation world is going to be shaken to its core.